Hello everybody, welcome back to the Young Fan Podcast. League One content at the moment, little bit of a touchy subject. I'm not going to lie, as an Oxford United fan, all to play for tonight in the second leg with a 3-0 deficit. Strange things have happened. Anyway, welcome back. Today we're going to be reacting to my League One predictions that I did at the start of the season. I'm going to get straight into it because I don't want to just mess about all the stuff before that. I want to get straight into the action. Make sure you subscribe and leave a like on this episode of the podcast. It's free to do both. Also, make sure you hit that notification bell as well because it's free and easy again. And it also makes sure that you're notified every time I go live or do a recorded one like this. You don't want to miss out. So much content coming your way. Still League One content, Premier League content, of course. We're only starting really when it comes to the Euros as well. I've got a new episode of the podcast doing my 26-man squad coming very, very soon. So you don't want to miss that. Make sure you subscribe as well. All the other content you don't want to miss out on. Let's get straight into it. Make sure in the comments down below as well you react to my predictions as well as yours as well. I want to hear from you. Were there some shock surprises that you saw from so many League One teams this season? If they are, make sure you put them in the comments down below and I'll be responding to all of them as per usual. Make it a discussion in the comments. I love to see it. And yeah, I'll be responding to all of them as per usual. Let's not mess about then. We're going to go with the actual League One table that we saw finish the season. And then we're going to be going through each team there. And we're going to be then seeing and comparing that to my prediction at the start of the season. And little spoiler, some of them are absolutely awful. I'm not going to lie. Predictions, not quite my thing, as we can clearly see today. Starting off then with Bristol Rovers. They, of course, finished rock bottom. A poor season for Bristol Rovers. And you think about it, a very, very bad one. I mean, it's bad to get relegated anyway. But I didn't expect them to get relegated. I predicted them to finish 15th. They finished 24th this year. And it was a bit of a funny year for them. Joey Barton came in sort of mid-season. He had a really good season last year out at Fleetwood Town. They hoped that bringing him in was they were going to, basically steady the ship and sort of get them back on track. I don't think they were in the relegation zone when he took over. However, they did fall in the relegation zone, of course, under him. In the end, finished bottom. So a really, really poor season for Bristol Rovers and quite disappointing point of view when you look at it from Joey Barton's perspective, because such an exciting, great year last year at Fleetwood, and lucky not to get to the final of the playoffs, and then quite a really negative, probably one of the worst seasons he'll probably have as a manager, getting relegated with Bristol. I guess for them it's just all about League Two and trying to get back into League One next season. But in terms of my prediction, 9 lower than I thought. It's not great, is it? Next up then, Swindon Town. I didn't predict them to get relegated. I predicted them to finish 18th. They finished 23rd this season, 5 lower than I predicted them. They did, of course, get relegated. Oxford United fan. Am I happy about that? Yeah, I'm not going to lie. Part of me likes to see a rival not do very well, and in this case we're seeing them get relegated. But however, at times this season, I mean, they beat us early in the season, and also at times they were higher than us for a large majority of the season as well, and they looked like they were going to do better than us as Oxford United. We pushed on to finish in the playoffs, and of course they got relegated pretty comfortably in the end, which is a bit of a shame if you are a Swindon fan. I didn't predict them to get relegated. They did get relegated. I mean, it's not great for them, of course, after being promoted into League One from League Two last season. It's not great, is it? But there you go. We'll move on to 22nd, I think, next. And that was Northampton Town. And this is my first prediction that I got spot on. There's not many in this podcast episode. There's not many in this prediction reaction. However, this one is one of them. Northampton Town, 22nd they finished. And I predicted them 22nd, exact position. I thought they would get relegated. And the reason for that, I remember at the start of the season, I said their captain last season, their leader at the back, their spine defensively good, of course, went to Brentford. Really, really disappointing when you lose a player like that, but it was so hard to keep hold of such a quality player. We saw how good he was for them last season. He was a driving force in their promotion-winning campaign. However, it did fall short, and they did fall short in the end, finishing 22nd. I predicted them to get relegated, and they did get relegated indeed. Next up then, Rochdale. I predicted that they would also get relegated. They finished 21st in real life. I predicted them to finish 23rd. I'm getting half a point there, I think. I think that's fair. Obviously, Rochdale were a team that I thought didn't quite have enough. And the way that they play, they're so attacking-minded. They're a great side to watch. You see them score so many goals. However, they do defend, and they do leak goals like a sieve. To be quite honest with you, defensively, they are like a tap. But going forward, they're an absolutely quality side to watch. They've got some great players as well. There's one player in particular, I think it's a midfielder. I can't remember his name exactly, but I remember doing it in my Best Player So Far podcast episode a few months ago. It was a midfielder who's got he's in double digits for goals and double digits for assists for a midfielder. Absolutely fantastic from him. And yeah, Rochdale plays some good football, but unfortunately in this league, defensively is very, very important. You can score a lot of goals, but if you leak it at the back, staying in this league is going to be difficult. And for Rochdale, they've learnt the hard way there, finishing 21st. I predicted them 23rd. We both predicted a relegation at the end of the day, or the actual league table didn't predict it. I mean, they did, sort of. They finished 21st. I predicted them 23rd. Let's move on to the 20th, and that was Wigan Athletic. They did it. They stayed up. I thought they'd finish 14th, which I think was actually me being very, very generous. I didn't really want to upset the massive fan base that Wigan have got, considering they've just been relegated from the Championship, coming down into League One. I thought they could finish mid-table. I didn't think they were going to be dragged into a relegation battle of some sort. However, they were. But for Wigan, and relief for Wigan, they do stay up. And I would say as well, I don't know a lot about the fall of Wigan. I've seen where they were. Obviously, I saw them, in the whole FA Cup situation just a few years ago, and I've seen the fall of them in that sense. But I don't know the in-depth side of it. I don't know the in-depth side of the takeover and the board off the pitch as well. But unfortunately, in football, when things start leaking off the pitch, should I say, they do eventually sort of ooze down into the first, onto the pitch and into that first team and into what will affect you results on the pitch, which is a shame, but ultimately it is inevitable, which is not easy to see. But ultimately, at the end of the day, they did stay up. They finished 6th lower than I thought they would. However, at the end of the day, for Wigan, they're not going to care, are they? They stay in the league. Good summer transfer window, a nice summer for them, bringing in some good players, trying to find that stability as a team, and then hopefully next year pushing hopefully back towards mid-table, maybe even for promotion. Who knows? It all does come down to the summer. But for them, in the end, a very, very good end to the season. I'd say a decent campaign for a team that are really struggling off the pitch, and fair play to Wigan, you really just do have to respect it. Next up then, 19th were AFC Wimbledon, and I predicted them to finish bottom of the league. They did 5 higher than I thought they would. I thought they were destined for relegation, but at the end, AFC Wimbledon had enough to stay up. They really, really did. They were a very, very good side. When it mattered at the end of the season, I said that they were in the relegation zone when I did my predictions sort of so late on. I think it was about 4 or 5 weeks they had left, and I said they were in the relegation at that point. But I think they've got enough. The form they had on, and in that business end of the season, they did the job, and they finished 19th in the end. Pretty safe when you think about it. 2 places higher than the relegation drop. A really, really decent end to the season for them, ultimately keeping them in the league. So I did sort of expect them to be the bottom half of the league table. I'm not going to lie, predicted them to get rock bottom, but they did better than I thought. And in the end, Wimbledon are playing League One football next season. Fair play to them. They finished 19th come at the final day. Next up then, Plymouth. They finished 18th, and I predicted them 19th. So only 1 place different from in my prediction. So again, to be fair, they didn't start that bad. I mean, Wigan was my worst one. Predicted them finish 14th. But other than that, I've been okay. And Bristol Rovers, I predicted them mid-table as well. Okay, they're not great. Okay, they're not. And Swindon, actually. So, no, I mean, the last few, Northampton was okay. Plymouth's all right. Wigan... No, not Wigan, sorry, Rochdale. I've done okay. I've sort of half marks, I'd say, so far. But as for Plymouth, they did finish 18th. I predicted them 19th. I thought they would stay up, and they have, to be fair to them. And nothing really much more to say about that. They did what they needed to do to stay in the league after being promoted last year into League One. Fair play. They're going to have another season in League One next season. Hopefully that's going to be a year for them that they can also, again, once again, stay up. We'll have to wait and see. But for Plymouth, it's a pretty good first year back in League One. Next up then, we've got Shrewsbury Town, 17th place side in the end, and they in the end finished 20th, so 3 higher than I thought they would. 3 higher they finished in the end. Sorry, 3 lower. 3 lower? 3 higher. 3 higher. There's a 3 difference. It's 3 higher. And in the end, a really decent season for Shrewsbury. They had so many things off the pitch. When we look at COVID, we look at the manager actually having COVID twice, having to have time away from the team, and having the assistants and the other coaching staff have to take over. For Shrewsbury, really, it is actually a fantastic story what they've done this season. Not having a manager, having so many difficult things off the pitch when it comes to staff, and in particular the actual first team manager. Such a difficult time for them, and they've dealt with the pandemic in the end, and they've had it the worst. You'd say one of the worst teams to have to deal with the pandemic when it comes to actually affecting them in the footballing sense of things. And you have to respect what they've done. They've stayed in the league, and they've done really, really good. They've done a really good job when it comes to that. For Shrewsbury, struggling to get the word out today, guys. I'm not gonna lie. So for Shrewsbury, 17th place in the end is a pretty good finish. Next up then, Burton. They finished 16th, but at one point they looked like they were destined for League 2 football next season. I predicted them to finish 12th, so they did do 4 lower than I thought, but At the same time, I thought this season what Hasselbank came in and did for Burton this season, and what he has done so far, and I'm guessing he is staying next season, is absolutely incredible. I'm not going to lie. They come in bottom of the league. I remember the last game before Hasselbank took over, Oxygen, I beat them 5-1. They looked like a mess. They looked all over the shop, but he came in, he steadied the ship, and he steered them out of trouble. And you have to really respect what he has done and what Burton have done in the end. 16th they finished in the end. They looked like I said, they were going to go down pretty comfortably. I did predict them higher in the end, but after the start of the season, 16th is a really good finish for them. So Burton, you have to just say congratulations and well done, to be honest. Next up then, Fleetwood Town. They finished 15th. I predicted them to finish 8th. I predicted them to be in a playoff race. Very wrong there, wasn't I? 7 lower than I thought. They lost, of course, Joey Barton for reasons off the pitch that we don't really know. They brought in Grayson as the manager, the ex-Sunderland manager. And to be honest, he's done a good job when you think about it since he came in. He hasn't done a bad job. And he finished them 15th in the end. All is really to look at next season with him. It's quite difficult to come in mid-season, mid-table. You don't know what to expect. You can't really take a club anywhere there. They weren't in the position where they could be fighting for top 6, but they weren't really too worried about relegation, and they certainly didn't finish like that either. So to be honest, it's a decent campaign for them. Not as good as I predicted them to, but considering a new manager came in, it's not awful. When you look at it from where they were last season, it is a bad season, but you can't look like that because a manager has gone. But in terms of my prediction, 8th to 15th, it's not great, is it? 7 lower than I thought they would, but there we go. Next up then, Doncaster, they finished 14th, and I predicted them 13th, so again, quite close there, 1 lower than I thought they would. And with Doncaster, to be honest, they looked like under Moore, they were going to get promoted. They looked like we were going to get in the top 6. They looked like a great side, really good footballing side, and a team that they were just playing some very good football under them. They lost Whiteman in the end. I think it was to Preston in the January transfer window. He was a very good player for them, and losing a player like that and losing a player so key in the January transfer window is also, it is a very, it can sort of send you off the rails. It can really sort of put you in the wrong mindset going for the rest of the season. But to be honest, they've done quite well in the grand scheme of things. They have fallen off fallen off a cliff when you think about it. But at the end of the day, when you think, losing a manager, in the end, they've done quite well when we look at it during the whole season. But where they were to where they are now, the forward hasn't been good enough, and I think they may change their manager in the summer. I think they brought in a player that that took over from Moore. They didn't actually appoint a manager from externally. They actually brought a player in internally. I think it was the captain, or I'm not exactly sure at all, but a player definitely there that they thought could take on the role. In the end, it's proved quite a difficult task for him, and ultimately they have finished 14th. But in terms of my prediction, it seems quite close, to be honest. Next up then, 13th was MK Dons. They finished 3 higher than I thought they would. I thought they were going to finish 16th, and to be fair for MK Dons, it's a good season, isn't it? It is a pretty good season, and like I said, they're another team sort of on the cusp, but they can have a really good summer transfer window and keep hold of some great players they've had this season. I think they're on for a really good campaign next year. They've had some outstanding players this season. To be honest, I didn't expect them to do that. I remember an MK Dons fan came on my predictions video when I did this 8-9 months ago, and he said that we're going to predict higher. I said, we'll have to wait and see, won't we? It's a prediction. I can't tell you the future. I looked at the signings they made. I thought, I think they're going to be safe. And it is only 3 high. They didn't. Let's not carried away. Let's not get carried away here. But at the end of the day, 13th for them, it looks much better than 16th, doesn't it? And it is better than 16th. It is 3 better for them, though. Like I said, they are on the cusp of bringing some better players in, or some more players in. I think they've got some good players, and bringing some better, high quality players, into that and integrating that into the squad. I think that could be really helpful for them. And I think they are ready to take that next step. Can they go on and maybe push for a top 6 spot next season? It's not going to be easy with the teams getting relegated and the teams staying in the league, but I think they can do it. They really can, and a really good, stable season for them. I look forward to seeing MK Dons next year. Now, I've got to apologise for this one. I'm doing this a day after because I completely forgot Crew. Somehow, I managed to miss them when I was doing this with a camera. So I do apologise, there's no camera for this one, Crew fans. However, you exceeded my expectations. You finished 5 higher than I thought. I thought you were going to finish 17th. You, in the end, finished 12th, back in League 1, again promoted, of course, from League 2 last season. You came in, your players like Kirk on the wing as a real standout performer. Some great players from you this season. And to be fair, you just have done a very good job. You have to congratulate them. Mid-table finish, exactly mid-table, and you've done better than I thought you would. So sorry, Crew, but congratulations to you. 5 higher than I thought, and a really good first successful back in the league. Next up then, Accrington Stanley. They finished 11th, and I predicted them 21st. It is my worst prediction. They finished 10 higher than I thought. They were the team that stood out for me this season. And I think my prediction doesn't just show that. I think watching them this season, they gave us a massive helping hand on the final day, beating Portsmouth, giving us a playoff spot, which, like I said, we won't mention it too much, but we have looking like we've pretty much bottled that, losing 3-0 in the home leg against Blackpool. But Accrington, they did help us out. They got us into that position. And this season, they have been great. They just have been very, very good. I thought they would maybe finish top 6. They just sort of like fizzle away and fall off. But at the end of the day, finishing 11th is a great position to be in for Coleman's men. At the end of the day, I thought they were going to finish 21st. I thought they were going to be relegated, and they've just proved me very, very wrong. So to be fair to Accrington Stanley, you've blown me out of the water there. Congratulations to you. You've had a very, very good campaign. Let's see what happens for them next year. But a really, really impressive campaign for them. But a very, very poor prediction from me. Next up then, Gillingham, 10th in the league, and they finished 9th. So again, not that bad. We think about it, one lower than I thought they would, and a good year really for Gillingham. I thought they were going to have a good year. I looked at the transfers they brought in at the start of the season, and to be honest, they have done very, very well. You have to respect what Steve Evans has done at Gillingham, and yeah, they've done a good job. Not really too much to say about that. Jordan Graham been a great player. He made it into my League One Team of the Year on that podcast I did a few weeks ago. I think it's only a week ago now. And that again, a really, really, really good season for him and a lot of the other players as well. I thought they would have a good year. They've done one lower than I thought, but generally still for Gillingham, it's a good campaign and not a bad prediction really. Obviously, we've now got Ipswich Town. I thought they were going to finish 5th. They finished 9th in the end. So not a great year for Ipswich. I thought this was the year, to be honest. I did think this was the year that they were going to be able to push on. They got relegated 2 seasons ago now. Last year, they didn't get promoted back into the league under Lambert. This season, they got rid of Lambert. They brought in Cook as the manager sort of mid-season. And we thought that maybe could be the push, maybe sacking him. And I think there's some things off the pitch as well. Maybe a takeover that's looking to happen, or might have happened. I don't think it has, but that's still looking to happen. It could be on the cards potentially. But really, at the end of the day, they've done a really, really poor job. I guess it's not a great year for them. I thought they were going to finish 5th. They finished 9th in the end. It's not a great year. But hopefully next year with a Paul Cook, obviously having a summer with him and having a summer maybe bringing in the players he wants to bring in, and then next year having a full season to do what he can do as Ipswich Town manager. We'll have to wait and see. In terms of my prediction though, I thought they were going to finish in the top 6. They didn't. They finished 9th. A shame for Ipswich. I think they are the next season a real team to watch out for if they keep hold of some good players and also let Paul Cook invest into this squad. So I'll be interested to see the future of Ipswich, but not a great year for them really. Next up then, Portsmouth. I thought they were going to win the league. I did. I thought Pompey were going to win the league. I thought losing to us in the semi-final last season was going to be that straw, that final push they needed to go and get promoted. A lot of people said I was wrong, and I was very, very wrong. I was very wrong. I mean, they didn't even get in the top 6. They finished 8th in the end, didn't they? They did 7 lower than I thought they would. I really thought they could do it under, what's his name? Under his name is completely blanked me. It's Jackett, that's the name, Jackett. Kenny Jackett, of course, the manager that left midway through the season. They brought in the Cowley brothers. They have signed that deal. Danny Cowley, of course, is that main manager, the main man. He signed a contract to stay. He was obviously brought in until the end of the season. They have extended that contract now. So next season for Pompey is interesting, but this year I thought they could do it. I did. I thought they maybe could have what it takes. Maybe getting, when I look back and said they won the league, I did think I was a bit crazy. I don't know what I was thinking there. But really, I thought they were going to finish top 6. And they really could have done. But ultimately, they did bottle it in the end of, Portsmouth. And they finished 8th there. And my prediction looks now very, very wrong. Next up then, and I got this one spot on, people. I said it, and a lot of people laughed at me. A lot of people said I was wrong. Charlton Athletic, 7th, I said. They did finish 7th. I was right, I'm just saying. 7th in the league. I thought Charlton wouldn't get back into Championship after getting relegated last year, and I was right. I didn't think they were going to get in the top 6. They didn't get in the top 6, so there we go. Just saying, people. Just saying. I was a little bit right there, wasn't I? Not much more to say about that. They lost the manager midway through the season. Lee Bauer went to Sheffield Wednesday. He is now relegated as well, so he's now been playing. No, it's not. He didn't take over Sheffield Wednesday. He took over Birmingham. That was more of Doncaster took over Sheffield Wednesday. He took over Birmingham, so he took a step up into the Championship, which, to be fair, you sort of have to respect that move for him. But ultimately, it has left Charlton in a position where they didn't get promoted. They didn't finish in the top 6, and it makes a big year for Adkins, and Charlton Charlton fans next season. Hopefully for them, they can get back into the Championship. Next up then, we've got Oxford United. I thought they would finish third. They finished sixth. To be fair, if we did this predictions video at the start of the year, I think it would have been ultimately laughed at. If we were still in where we were for the first 3 months of the season, hovering around relegation, I think this would be one of the most awful predictions I've ever done. But to be honest, because of our great run and our great finish to finish in the top 6, it doesn't now look as bad. It is still 3 lower than I thought I would. And I think we easily could have finished third. And it sounds great. I think we could have really easily finished third if we'd picked up some better results at the start of the season. If we hadn't have been so awful earlier in the season, I think we really could be knocking on the door for automatic promotion spots. But we can't look at the past. We can't. And at the end of the day, I will be doing an official, like a roundup from Oxford United season at the end of the day. But to be honest, it's not bad, is it? To finish in the top 6 when we come from. It's a really, really good year for us. We didn't expect to be there when we look at the start of the year, but we did in the end. It might be over. It probably is over after losing the first leg against Blackpool. We'll have to find that out tonight. But at the end of the day, we finished 6th. I predicted 3rd. It's not awful. It could have looked much worse. Next up then, Lincoln City. I thought they would finish. I thought they were going to finish 10th. They finished 5th. 5 higher than I thought they would. And I do remember actually saying that Lincoln were a team that really, really could watch out for. I think you should really, really watch out for Lincoln. I really thought that Lincoln could have a really good campaign, and I wasn't wrong. I said 10th, but I was really thinking about pushing them into that nearly playoff spot, if not the playoff spots. And they proved me right. Mark Appleton has got the job done there. I said he's a manager to watch out for. He brings in players. He's a manager that means business. And to be honest, he has done. He really has mean business. They finished 5th in the end. You have to congratulate him. They did finish 5 higher than I imagine. They are beating Sunderland going into their second leg tomorrow with a 2-goal lead. So they could even get themselves into the playoff final, probably facing Blackpool. I'm not going to lie, but really, Lincoln, they've done such a good job this year. You have to commemorate it. And the prediction now does look like I said they were going to do well, but they've done even better than I thought they would. Next up, there's Sunderland. I thought they'd finish 2nd. They finished 4th. 2 lower than I thought they wouldn't. I thought Sunderland, they were going to do it. I thought they could get automatic promotion spots. And at one point, when they were on that ruthless run, sort of a few weeks until the end of the season, I thought they could have done that. I thought Peterborough might fall away and Sunderland could take that spot, but fortunately Sunderland couldn't quite capitalise that, couldn't quite get the run of the games and couldn't quite win as many games as they could have done to finish in that top 2 in the end. They finished 4th. They could have easily finished 3rd, but they finished 4th. 2 lower than I thought they would, to be honest, but again, a really good campaign for Sunderland. They are desperate to get back into the Championship, obviously, as you can imagine, the size of the club, but they've got to be patient. They are losing 2-0 going to the second leg, but they could claw it back, of course. But yeah, a good campaign for Sunderland when we look at it at a league table point of view. But yeah, could they knock on the door for promotion, automatic promotion? No one will have to, that can't be found out and no one will ever know. But next season, if they don't go up, I think it's going to be a massive year for them. But they could still go up this season if they come back from a deficit of 2-0. Next up then, Blackpool, and this again was a one that I'm going to get a lot of stick for. I remember a Blackpool fan saying that they were laughing at me when I said 11th. They finished 3rd, and they've been very, very good this season. What Critchley has done at Blackpool, I think, is again an extraordinary thing. He's ex-under-23s manager at Liverpool. He's brought some quality players in. He has brought quality into the club. And the fall of Blackpool and the story of Blackpool falling down the divisions, and then hopefully now with this new chapter of a football club, they can push up. And let's be honest, let's not be silly here. We're dreaming. I know I'm dreaming tonight that Oxford United can pull a miracle out the bag, but it's not going to happen realistically, is it? A 3-goal lead going into the second leg, the tie is pretty much over. There's some hope there, of course there is, but that's because we're football fans. Strange things have happened, but realistically, Blackpool are such a good side. They've got the best defensive record in the league this season. They've been very, 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 very good, and they finished 3rd. To be honest, they did much better than I thought they would. 8 higher in the end. They brought some quality players in, and you just have to respect it. And hopefully, this is now for Blackpool fans the rise back up the leagues. Because this season they've really put a footprint down to say just that. And penultimately then, penultimately, that's the word, I got it right the first time, Peterborough, 2nd in the league, in the end, of course. I was them 4th, so I did actually a straight swap between Sunderland and Peterborough, 2 higher in the end. They did, to be fair. Peterborough had a good season, they deserve it. Last season, I've said it before, I think they were robbed last year of getting that playoff spot robbed from Wycombe, down to the points per game, the COVID pandemic stopping the season. I said they were robbed. They were robbed, but this year they're getting promoted. They're back. They are playing Championship football next season. The posh, and you have to respect that. Duncan Ferguson, he's done a great job. So yeah, 2nd in the league, Championship football for them next season. And finally then, champions of League One this year, Hull City. I thought they were going to finish 6th. 5 higher. They did 5 better than I thought they would. I don't know why I did that. I don't know why. I've come a long way in learning about League One this year, to be honest. I think I have. I've learned so much more about individual clubs. Clearly, Hull City getting promoted, the size of that club. I think it was mainly because I don't know. I just thought maybe that was going to be a struggle. Maybe thought they were going to do like an Ipswich of last season when they got promoted. Thought they were going to when they got relegated. Thought they were going to get promoted. And it wasn't going to be as easy as they thought, and they just have proved me very, very wrong. They got up, they went up pretty comfortably, won the league in the end, in such a great way, and they've done a great job there. And they proved me wrong, and probably proved to quite a few people wrong, and maybe a lot of you maybe thought they were going to easily win the title. I'm not quite sure, but for me, it wasn't as straightforward as I thought it would be. But they proved me wrong there, and Hull City are champions, and definitely deserve it. There's no doubt there. But yeah, a good season for Hull City, obviously getting promoted back into the Championship, winning the league, a great year for them. And that is my reaction to my League One predictions that I did at the start of the season. Some of them were absolutely ridiculous. Some of them were absolutely horrific. Of course, I'll be listening to you in the comments down below. Make sure you give your thoughts on my predictions and your shock and surprise teams that you may have seen this year as well, because there has been some extraordinary, fantastic and interesting stories from so many clubs this year. So make sure you give your thoughts down below. Make it a discussion. I'll be responding to all of them as per usual. I've been Jack. This has been the Young Fan Podcast. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. It's been a bit of a laugh because some of them are absolutely awful. Fingers crossed for Rochdale United fans tonight. See you later.